Explorer.
Yeah, it's really nice.
My favorite of that era is definitely the Washburn HM20.
What is that? Is it the same shape?
Similar sort of Blade Runner-y looking.
Okay, we're live, guys.
We're live, guys.
We are the live guys.
Hi, we're the live guys.
New band name.
2-for-1 special bacon double cheeseburger. How's everybody doing? I hope well. So this is this day 15 years ago, was it, Matthew?
That's exactly right.
This very day 15 years ago, our third studio album, TooSoonMonsoon, came out. It was made immediately after we got out of our deal with Sony, so it represents the first of our completely independent efforts. And we're going to play you the whole thing, right, Matthew? Right, Joey?
That's the plan.
Right, Sturbans?
Yeah.
Okay, and Leo?
Yeah.
Also, for the first time during our post-COVID simulcasting, Zoom casting, we have Leo Frary back in the house.
This is the closest we've gotten to a full performance
Yeah.
this entire year.
Yeah. We still desperately miss Carly Bruce and Brandy Tyser, but that day will come shortly.
And Matt in class.
And Matt in class, member number 8. Yeah, we're a bigger band than this, but we're gonna try and fill some shoes today. So, anyway, so shall we get started here on the first song?
Let's do it.
Okay, cool. Yeah, this is the first song from TooSoonMonsoon. This is Something Good. felt more like the rock and roll version than the other rehearsal that we did for it. Do we have some extra rock spirit happening?
I think we're being fueled by the power of the people watching.
Power of the caffeine?
Power of the gorgeous British bake-off cake that Jonesy brought.
Yeah, Joey brought us a cake today.
Beautiful cake.
Thank you, Jonesy.
You're welcome.
Fueled by chocolate cake.
I think
Yeah.
it's pastry week next week, so
Ooh.
we'll see
Oh,
what we
boy.
have.
Wow.
Will that mean cupcakes, maybe?
That's not
No.
pastry, I don't think.
No?
Are you going to
No.
make a croissant?
I don't know. I have to see what they make.
Hmm.
Oh.
I have to make what they make on the show.
What if you don't like it?
I'll make it anyway.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
That's
well,
a good lesson for life.
yeah. See, I feel the same way about cupcakes. Just make it anyway.
Oh.
Matthew knows. Um,
It's best not to talk about that.
so the next song on the record is "In the Melody," and it drives like a car, right?
Go.
Here we go, Leo. Ready?
Let's do it.
1, 2, 3, 4. That night that you got on a plane to Los Angeles, I turned back into the me that I was. The guy that would go out to buy on the porno and come back with 20, the pervert you love. And as I drove, I remembered that you made a tape for me to play if I ever had a lonely day. I slipped it in and the stereo phonics came home singing about matches. Well, at least someone still believes in the melody. I think that I've heard it already, but I think that I must admit it as bad as it gets. Someone still believes. The sound of American radio's making me feel like I just killed my mom and my dad. These pop songs were made to be simple, so people who make them, we take them, we break them in half. And as I drove, I remember that you made it tape for me to play if my ears were ever being ripped. I slipped it in and the tragically it came on singing about matches. Well, at least someone still believes in the melody. I think that I've heard it already, but I think that I must admit it as bad as it gets. Someone still believes. Keyboard solo from Brandy. Well, at least someone still believes in the melody. I think that I've heard it already, but I think that I must admit it as bad as it gets. Well, at least someone still believes in the melody. I think that I've heard it already, but I think that I must admit it as bad as it gets. Someone still believes in the melody. I think that I've heard it already, but I think that I must admit someone still believes in the melody. I think that I've heard it already, but I think that I must admit. Leo, is that hard to play on a cajon?
You know, it kind of hurts your hand if you're not really used to banging hand percussion the whole time.
Right.
But it's okay. The power of rock music gets you through it.
Okay. Can you show me the end of that just real quick? The really like.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
What?
Yeah.
It's like,
What?
It's like we're back at the club.
All right. Just don't give me a hug.
Back at the club, don't give me a hug.
That's the post-COVID version.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is that phase 3 of reopening?
That's the new one.
You can find me in the club, but don't give me a hug. All right, so wow, I really hope that 50 Cent joins up with Governor Cuomo and he makes a ton of money.
Is there any likelihood of that?
I think 0.
I mean, he's from Queens, so you know,
So there's a chance.
there's a chance.
So you're saying there's a chance.
But what's the next song on the list here, Leo? BMX Bandits.
Bimix.
Okay. Yeah, the first 3 songs on Too Soon, they go. We were doing that first 3 song thing, but they kind of go medium, faster, fastest. Boom, boom, boom. So.
And it's all downhill from there.
And then it's all. Then you can sign off because it's. Yeah, this is BMX Bandits. Matthew unearthed the multi-tracks for this recently, and we were listening back, and early version has a little clip of Nicole Kidman from the actual film BMX Bandits saying the following line: "This reminds me of a film I once saw," and then it kicks in. So, can you give us a Carly Bruce? This reminds me of a film I once saw, and see. I won't count it in. We'll just go blast in. We're gonna try this. We haven't rehearsed this,
In
right?
an Aussie accent?
Matthew's really excited about this one. I can tell.
This seems ambitious over Zoom.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Do it, but then still count.
Well, the timing of her vocal is important. So she's like, "This reminds me of a film I once saw," like that.
Got it. Let's just see what happens.
Yeah, let's see what happens.
Here we go.
This reminds me of a film I once saw.
So glad we did that.
Terrible.
Over and under we ride, in love with the suicide. Here we fuck with disaster and careful of something to hide. So come give this trick a try. Push it faster, you bastard, and over this mountain you glide. No, you're not gonna last if you can't push it faster. Nicole, what's such a goddess that I'd like to go down and back. But GMC racing right, man, I wish I had one like that. Nicole, you stole my soul with your cute little bunny hop. Your radical tabletop girl, I wish you would never stop. Nicole, oh, I was only 10 years old. Shit, I left my cell phone at home. It's just a broken collarbone. Walk it off, you little bread bowl, and get your ass back on the bike. It's time to go lay some pipe, or just watch me get nice. I'm a school you on how to get high. You go home, tell your friends that you buying on my style, and you go, since you got it, I'd like to go down and back. But GMC racing back, and I wish I had one like that. You go, you stole my soul with your cute little bunny hop. Your radical tabletop girl, I wish you would never stop. You go, you got this motor, they go, it's 'cause you rock the best on the skyways of being fixed. Walkie talkies and stolen shit. They go, quite ain't gonna pick it river, we're going wrong. Your social and pronoun is meaning it, put down your ass, so that's it. Go, oh, I was only 10 years old. want to be. Into the ground I'm sinking. And you call and you say to me in your ordinary way that you can't help me out of the ordinary. You're just like the London sun, man. You're over and done with before you be gone. And I won't but be like the only one who would stand there and smile and try to be fun. When I say, hey baby, what went wrong? We go back to beginnings. The story's too long to be told. Like you were the only one who ever got left in the dark by the London sun. Hurricanes are blowing out my brains, but my eyes are calm and hollow. Airplane stalls, from the sky it falls. You can read the news tomorrow. And you call and you say to me in your ordinary way that your life has become too fucking ordinary. You're just like the London sun, man. You're over and done with before you be gone. And I won't be like the only one who would stand there and smile and try to be fun. When I say, hey baby, what went wrong? We go back to beginnings. The story's too long to be told. Like you were the only one who ever got left in the dark by the London. Leave if you wanna leave. It's alright. I know what it's like to feel like life is passing by when you are stuck in the place you're in, ordinary space you're in. I'm stuck out of luck in the place that I'm stuck in with you.
You're just like the London sun when you're over and done before you be gone. And I won't be like the only one who'll stand there and smile and try to be fun. When I say,
Hey baby, what went wrong? We go back to beginnings. The story's too long to be told. Like you were the only one who ever got left in the dark by the London. You're just like the London sun, man. You're over and done with before you be gone. And I won't be like the only one who will stand there and smile and try to be fun. When I say, hey baby, what went wrong? We go back to beginnings. The story's too long to be told. Like you were the only one who ever got left in the dark by the London sun. By the London sun. By the London sun. By the London sun. By the London. The London Sun. Are we like at the halfway point on the album or almost?
Not quite.
Not either.
Not
Yeah.
even.
The next one will be 5, and then we're 5/11ths through.
Should we stop for any questions, Matthew, or just keep trucking?
No, we're gonna keep trucking.
Keep
Okay.
on trucking.
All righty. So the next one is I Am What I Is. Which is definitely a song.
No getting around it.
No excuses. Okay, kids. Yeah, this is I Am What I Is. What did we say last week in the rehearsal? Somebody came up with another funny little...
You did. You said something. Yeah, I forgot what it was.
Couldn't have been me.
You said it, and Gob started laughing, and we were like, "Oh wow, where did that come from?"
It was like, it was another version of this I Am What I Is, but it was like... You- Yeah, that one.
I don't know.
All right, we ready for this? We're never going to remember what
That was
that
a
was.
great story.
That was a good story, though.
Christopher calls me, he calls me complaining. He's already waited too long to begin. The world is on one side, and I'm on the other. And I read in a magazine, I am what I is. I am. Brian the actor, he caters on Saturdays. With cufflink and bow tie, he can bring me a drink. He tells me he sweats it like pig in a blanket. And I ran out of toothpicks, but I don't have to think. And I am. But autumn will come, and everyone loves you when you already won. And I'm here to tell you that I don't care if I turns you down. I will hear you say I am what I am when I am what I is. When I am what I am, then I am what I am. Katie is lonely. She lives with her parents. She saves all her money so she can spend it in Spain. Her mom's doesn't get it. She says to forget it. And I told her we're different, but she knows we're the same. And I am. But autumn will come, and everyone loves you when you already won. And I'm here to tell you that I don't care if I turns you down. I will hear you say I am what I am when I am what I is. When I am what I am, then I am what I am. Oh, Christopher calls me. He calls me complaining. I am what I am when I am what I is. When I am what I am, then I am what I is. When I am what I am, then I am what I is. When I am what I am, then I am what I is. When I am what I am, then I am what I is. When I am what I am, then I am what I is. When I am what I am, then I am what I is. When I am what I am, then I am what I is. When I am what I am, then I am what I is. When I am what I am, then I am what I is. When I am.
Okay. What is next? Truth I Tell Myself? Is that the next one?
That's the one.
The song about Gollum?
It's about Gollum?
It's about Smeagol, yeah.
Really?
I thought you said it was about Gollum.
Well, yeah, sorry. I really screwed my dualities up in that one.
I'm so confused.
You know, Smeagol was confused because the ring made him feel thoughts and think feelings. So, yeah, this is the truth I tell myself. Everybody ready?
Yes.
Leah, why don't you start it off?
You don't have to tell me that I'm stubborn, 'cause I'm not. Yeah, I know, 'cause it runs in my family. and skips every other generation. You don't have to save my soul or make me feel like I'm in control. It's not worth double scotch whiskey that you'd have to buy me. You look like you're surprised, like when will I get wise? But I'll just drive the same dead ends I've tried, and I think I know why. There's no connection between what I want and what is good for me. The truth I tell myself not to something, but I'm not. And I know that it's somebody else's fault, just like every other thing that's ever happened to me. Yeah, I could have been like the king, like someone who could really sing. Folks line up round the corner just so they could come and hear me. Oh, there I go again. Them devils love their sin, but they can't end what I do not begin. So I'm safe where I'm in, and there's no connection between what I want and what is good for me. The truth I tell myself not to believe. There's no direction between where I am and where I'm supposed to be. The truth I tell myself not to believe. Yeah, I don't think that I'm expecting you to stay, 'cause you won't. And I know, 'cause I've seen it a million times. It's this charming, self-destructive disposition of mine. Yeah, and all those happy endings are for fools who feel like they will never lose. Folks who think there's a God out there that's gonna save them. And I'll get this round, my friend, and then we can start again, just like we did when we were who we are. Have we come that far?
Tell myself not to believe.
trade all my sunshine for twin towers to hide behind and find you there. When I left on that Sunday to come home on a Tuesday, well, I never thought I'd have this day in which the world explode. And I swear it was beautiful before they sent those aeroplanes. And I thought I could show it to you just like my dad did. Hometown come tumbling down. When she came on a Friday, well, I took her home the long way so she could see. And she asked how they made it, and would they ever change it. I said no way, but it's half of what you see and none of what you hear, believe. And I told her that they remind me of Motown 60s skinny ties. What they thought the future looked like, where the Jetsons lived. Hometown come tumbling down. Well, we watched it and we cried, and we ran to the front line, and some came home. But I stay off the expressway, nothing to see there anyway. That view sucks now. There was a time the Brooklyn traffic couldn't get me down, and I swear it was beautiful. We hope they build them tall again. Until then, your imagination is all that you will have. 3, 4.
What's funny? What happened? What happened?
No, it was great. It wasn't quite the look we talked about.
That wasn't quite the look.
Oh.
The cue to end the song.
Oh.
That's cool.
What was that? What were we supposed to do there?
Give us a louder notice.
Oh, shit. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine.
Um, it's so much harder to do this when you're not in the same room together. You kind of got it though, right? I mean,
Sure, let's say
I
yes.
faked you out and you still made it. You still made it to that last note.
Let's say yes again.
Internet jamming.
Jammed by the internet. Okay, so where are we now in the program, Matthew?
Desperado.
Songs of desperation.
Ah. I mean, isn't that like the whole thing? A rare song in G, might add.
We said yesterday, we were talking about it, this is probably the least played song on this record. for
Yeah.
us. It's fun to do.
Yeah. Okay.
I like it
Yeah.
a lot. It's one of my favorites on the record.
Yeah, it's really good. I don't know why we don't do it more. We should.
I wrote this to Phil.
Oh.
We were having the road was a challenge at times, and we were stretching the boundaries of what human beings could do and still maintain their sanity. So that's where this came from. Okay, so here we go. I know I'm a little erratic. Sometimes my chickens are chasing my rabbits. Do you think you can stand it? Do I have the right to stand here and demand it? And just like you, the paranoia keeps me up at night so late. But if you believe in desperate songs, I promise that one day I'll learn how to write them, and then you and me will be free, as long as we've learned all our desperate songs. I know I'm a little bit spastic when I build these castles with paper and plastic. You don't look like you can stand it. I don't have a right to stand here and demand it. And just like you, the smallest earthquake shake me out of bed at midnight. And if you believe in desperate songs, I promise that one day I'll learn how to write them, and then you and me can be free, as long as we've learned all our desperate songs. Do you remember the panic that all of us felt when the small was gigantic? Just like you, the heavy metal shakes me out of bed at midnight. But if you believe in desperate songs, I promise that one day you'll learn how to write them, and then you and me can be free, as long as we've learned all our desperate songs.
That was fun.
That's
Yeah,
a quickie.
that was fun.
Yeah.
I forgot how short it is. Feels long because it's broad.
Oh, God.
Keep it tight.
Yeah. So what is that, a tight 220 or a tight 230?
Yeah.
It's time for Brandy's favorite song, The Silence.
Oh, the silence.
Should we tell why we call it The Silence?
I think everybody kind of knows that story already
Oh,
a little
okay,
bit in
never
this
mind
group anyway. We just tune up because this song sounds really funny when you're out of tune. All right, I'm ready when you guys are.
Here we go. Everyone ready?
Yep.
Oh yeah.
I met the King of England once, but the guys in the deli back home, they don't believe me. I ride my bike all around my hometown, where nobody knows me. Yeah, they say that the problem is mine, and I should take a more positive line on the situation when solutions are staring me right in the face that we've run out of time. But if I do what you'd say, everything would be fine. Well, no thanks, I'd rather sit here and die on this island. Cash it in and skip to the end. No thanks, I'd rather sit here and die on this island. Can't you see that I need this to end? The end. I had a dream about a song. It was so strong. It made all the rights wrong. When I went to write it all down, capture the sound, you won't believe what I found. Yeah, it all came out bad, mad and sad when I played it. It sounded more like a fad that had lasted a little too long than it had, and I realized this was as good as it got. And there's no snowman in hell, 'cause it's too fucking hot. So no thanks, I'd rather sit here and die on this island. Cash it in and skip to the end. The end. No thanks, I'd rather sit here and die on this island. Can't you see that I need this to end? The end.
of all the weird time signature stuff we've ever worked on and different modes and feels, that carousel jam requires so much more of my concentration than I am ever ready for. I really need to meditate to keep on that, like, sort of like, we're on a wonky carousel.
Brendan, this album is like your waltz album.
Oh, God.
So many 3/4.
Waltz right the hell out the door.
Yeah.
Waltz mink.
Well,
Do you
waltzing Matilda.
do you consider that 3/4, Matthew?
At the end.
At the end, I do. Yeah.
Yeah.
That tag at the end is a waltz. Yeah.
Oh, I feel I count 6/8.
All right.
Sorry.
Do you want to step outside?
It's 12/16, y'all, okay? Get it right. All right, so we're moving on to the song on the album that I did not write, right?
Yes.
Written by Catherine Froggatt. This is called Who Would Have Thought? And I barely even sing on it, I'm glad to say. I'm going to take a break and play some guitar. In the name of Lee West.
We're gonna feature the ladies.
Finally.
Finally.
At long last, as it was meant to be. So, you ready here?
I'm ready.
All right, Leo, hit it.
You can take your eyes off your phone. 'Cause from here on in you're on your own. And don't you lay your hands on me. 'Cause I am bowing out so gracefully. You wanted
best one on the album.
That's good fun.
Thank you, Catherine Froggatt. Okay, so we're at the end, aren't we?
We got one more.
Got one more to play?
We got one more, and then we're gonna open it up. We're gonna invite some the Patreon people are gonna be invited in to chat a little bit, and we'll do a couple requests for the people on the YouTube and the Patreon, and then we'll call it a day.
Yeah, we're going to invite some criticism.
Yeah, we want to hear your really harsh feedback of what we just did.
Yeah, really bust it
All
up.
the notes, timestamps, the problems.
Fix this. Never do this again. Okay. All right, so it's no happy ending tune, isn't it?
It is.
All right, so just a note about this one. There's a lost song on Too Soon. If you were in the chat early today, you saw me play a little bit of it. It's a song called What Are You Waiting For? And we have released this. Where did we release it, Matthew? Where is it out on?
It is currently only available on our Patreon feed.
Yeah, so it was fully and completely recorded for TooSoonMonsoon, but I didn't think that it was a very good last song. It just kind of felt like it was a standalone. So I poached the chorus of What Are You Waiting For? There's 2 question songs on this record. What Are You Waiting For? And I used it for the chorus of this song, No Happy
The
Ending.
bridge of this song.
Bridge, correct. Or a solo, I guess you could say. Okay, so let's Matthew starts this one with his bass. Let's do it.
Okay. It's my big moment.
Here we go.
When the summer comes, we'll get on our aeroplanes and go back to where we came from. It's a sigh, but I think I'll survive. When this is done, we can have our loved ones back just in time for the new hijack. It's a fact, and it's the act we act inside. But oh God, how good would it be if you trusted me and I believed in you? Oh God, what could that do? No happy ending tune. When this is done, we can burn these penguin clothes and go home where no one knows us. It's a sigh, shiny like a dime. When this is done, we can die 1,000 times, all alone and unrecognized. It's a sigh when I hate to say goodbye.
We did it. We did it.
We got it. We got through
Oh
it.
my God.
So yeah, it's time to answer for our sins.
Yeah, I agree. So I'm gonna add people, but anyone watching, feel free to unmute your video if you want to say hello. Just add yourself. I think you can add yourselves.
Yay, look at Glenn's background.
And this is still on YouTube, right? Just so that everyone knows.
Yes, for people who are watching on YouTube who are not Patreon people, if you we do live streams like this for Patreon about twice a month ish, and we only charge, it's $5 a month to be on Patreon, and we well, especially now, I mean, it's varied over the years, but if you are interested in seeing way more of us, $5, and you can we hang out on Zoom with our friends there all of the time.
Pals.
Zoom pals.
Close personal
Zoom pals.
Zoom pals. But thank you all so much. This I have to say, we announced this because we've been doing Sunday live streams for a while, and I noticed that this Sunday fell on the anniversary of Monsoon, and it just seemed like the right thing to do a a sort of tribute to this record, and the response was way better than I expected. Everyone was like extremely excited about it, and yeah, I mean, I don't know, I don't want to speak for Brendan, but it's very cool because this was a very different and big record for this band, and
You can speak for me. You're doing fine.
and yeah, the fact that it's become such a favorite really means a lot, because it was like a major sort of departure.
Yeah, humongous departure. So
yeah.
much so that like a lot of the people who were working with us at the time were kind of like, "What the fuck are you doing?" Like, and I'm not exaggerating. Like, that was literally what we were. Why isn't, like, you guys are a pop punk band? Like, all that shit. And I was like, oh man, that part of us was misconstrued in the first place, and I think that the second album was Hoilo was kind of this like ripping, loud, sort of pop heavy, nasty rock record. And I wanted to make a warm sounding rock record, a big fluffy sounding rock record, like an AC/DC record or a Boston record or something like that, right, Jonesy? That's in that vein of chunky sounding stuff. So yeah, so it was a major departure. It was also the first record we did as a completely independent band post our record deal. We got our walking papers, and we did this record at as soon as we got them. So but yeah, this was the record we finally built our own studio for, and I got to try out all the weird stuff that we were always thinking about over the years. It was mixed on. I had an opportunity to buy for a very, very affordable price an MCI console, mixing console, which was one of the type that Back in Black was recorded on. Same type, same preamp structure and everything. So spent a long time learning how to make that instrument sound right, because that's another instrument unto itself. But that's where the record came from, and it took us a while, but it was a big long experiment. In basic tracks were all recorded live in the same room. All of us standing in the same room. It was the first time we had ever done that. And yeah, that's TooSoonMonsoon. So if you have questions about it or whatever.
I think Glenn said he had a question. So Glenn, if you want to unmute yourself, you are welcome to do so.
Hey guys, that was awesome. That was fantastic.
Thank you.
I have a couple of questions. I know from doing a little research that this was particularly difficult for you, Brendan. As a matter of fact, and if you don't mind, you wrote 15 years ago, TooSoonMonsoon is the hardest thing I've ever done. I've been so close to it for such a long time that I'm afraid to let it go. Stockholm Syndrome. I've fallen in love with my kidnapper who beat me. It has nearly killed me and made me feel more alive than I am in the same day.
Yeah, very
And-
much so. Yeah.
And so I guess I have a couple of questions, some of them lighter than this one. But number one is that still the case? Is this still the hardest thing you've ever done? Number two, did you really consider moving to a mango farm in Fiji? And number three, where'd the artwork come from? Because it's pretty cool.
So the artwork is a sort of a beautiful story. I'll start with that. Catherine Froggatt was in the band at the time, and that was a rendering that she did in Bic pen of her family home in Byron Bay, Australia, where she grew up with her mother and her father prior to her mom and dad splitting up. And I think that was a sort of a calm before the storm rendering that was really simple and really innocent. And I asked her, could we please use that for the album artwork? And she said yes, of course. And so that's where the artwork came from. It's just a Bic pen sketch from Catherine Froggatt. So your other question was, I stand by that answer. Definitely was the hardest thing I'd ever done prior to that because for a couple reasons. First of all, it was recorded live, so we had to be the band that knew how to play that stuff. We couldn't just lay it down one piece at a time, get the drums right, focus on the drums for a week, get the drums right, focus on the bass for a week, get the bass right. We didn't have that. We had to mature the songs and season the songs together as a unit, which was one of the reasons I just wanted to be in a band when I was a kid, is to get good enough to do that, to be like, not that we were, but to be like AC/DC good, Rick Rubin tells a story about the first AC/DC record that he produced. He just turned up the faders and it was like done because it was AC/DC, because they knew how to do that. By that time, they were so well machined. So that was the ideal, but that's a lot harder than it sounds. And bands like AC/DC and Rush and Iron Maiden and the acts that David Byrne, the acts that I really look to for examples of live performance, they toiled for decades to get to that point, and damn near killed themselves. So it was like trying to squeeze all that into this recording process, and we realized early on that we didn't have it. We didn't have what it took, and that it was going to take a lot more hours and a lot more time. So we worked, if you ask Shannon Harris about this, a bit of this is in the documentary as well.
Yeah, I was just going to say that.
We started work at 9 a.m., and we went until sometimes 9 or 10 p.m. Working on these songs to the point that we were good enough to play them together and know how they went and know how they were supposed to feel and not get it wrong. And that's one of the reasons it was really hard. It was also, the first record was a labor of love all through the 90s, and then suddenly we were signed and Columbia Records wanted to put it out, so there was this fire where it's like, get this thing done, oh my God, I can't believe we have this opportunity, and it was electrified us. And we raced through it in those 3 weeks in my mom's house in March of 2000. And the second record had this really high expectation. Everyone was looking forward to our second album. Our A&R guy was excited about it, and when we finished it and I delivered it, I felt like it was the strongest thing we could possibly have done. Of course, the label hated it, and we came down off of that expectation into this place that was like, okay, well, it's not the 90s anymore, and we don't have the first hill to climb anymore. And the second hill turned out to be more like an anthill. And for us, like, in terms of our trajectory and what we were trying to accomplish. And so this third record was like this start over, be a new band, write a new thing, do it alone, no record label waiting for it, none of that. And you have to remember that 2004 was like the first year that I think was at the iTunes came online, Matthew, or just shortly after that.
It would have been close, yeah. I mean, that
Right.
was a major like music industry transition was happening at that point,
Right.
Sort of away from CDs and towards. That's like you're talking like shortly after Napster was shut down, and they were trying to figure out what to do with a public who decided they wanted MP3s more than CDs.
Right.
Yeah.
So we had this dilemma facing us that we were walking away from the major label system and there wasn't anything to replace it. There was no way to directly distribute your record yet. There was like no mechanism for that. And we had no idea. We had absolutely no idea. I had no idea how to do it. We had no idea how to make the record. We had these tools. We had a little bit of money, and we could afford these tools and this time to do it. But we were really, this was truly shooting in the dark. You know, I knew a lot more about what I was doing on the first record than I did on this one. Just totally useless as far as a producer had to learn how to make the record that I was trying to make. Like, and we recorded it in 2004, released it in 2005. And during that was like 2005, I think might have been the first year for YouTube, Matthew. Am I right about that?
I wouldn't remember, but yeah, maybe.
I think it was 2005.
Yeah. So this stuff was like, I mean, these days you can definitely do that. You can definitely take a big risk, and you can make a record while you holding down your day job. You can come home at night, make your record, and put it on iTunes and see how it does, right? Or Apple Music, I should say. But there was nothing like that back then. So we were really in uncharted, like, everything, you know. So
I remember that we noted that BMX Bandits was getting a lot of spins on MySpace.
Right.
That was our metric at that point, which is crazy to think about, but it's true.
Yeah, and MySpace during that time, they launched a sales widget where you could sell your music on their site, and nobody ever saw the money from that. That kind of like blew up and disappeared, and nobody ever saw a dime from any of those proceeds. So that was like
Has anyone reached out to Tom?
yeah, right. Tom's on a mango farm in Fiji. So but the point is like we, you know, it was so scary, man. It was so scary. It was like there's no way to do this. There was literally no way to do it, to even think about how to do it. So, and I was really turned off of the management and the record labels. I was like, I'm not fucking going anywhere near any of that shit again. That was terrible. Whatever's next, it's got to be better than that. But what was next was like completely unknown, you know. It was like Will Smith walking into that warehouse in Tribeca and I Am Legend. Like, what the hell is in there? You know, we haven't even seen the.
We're having an I Am Legend day over here.
Yeah, we're having an I Am Legend day.
There's a lot of I Am Legend talk.
Too traumatic.
I don't want to interrupt Brandon, but we have a bunch of questions, so I want to get to everybody.
Sure.
Chris S., I saw you said you have a question. If you would like to unmute yourself and ask it, by all means, do so.
Hello.
Hi, Chris.
Hello.
Hi. So I did have just a quick question. Are there any songs on this album that started out conception in your head and then ended up something completely different?
Yeah, I don't know if you were on board but the last song on the record, is a No Happy Ending tune, was very much the last one written, and it was because the original last song, which was called What Are You Waiting For, felt very wrong as a final statement. It felt sort of flat as a final statement. As a standalone, it kind of holds up. It's sort of a melancholy song, but it doesn't hit hard enough as an outro, as an exclamation point. So I also want a song that tells you something else is coming. And so I poached the chorus of What Are You Waiting For and turned it into the bridge of a new song on this sort of riff that I, you know... Like, and that was also an uncharted territory moment, because no other Wheatus music to that point had that sort of funk influence or that strange chord arrangement. Yeah. And then of course the key changes at the end, you know, and all that. We hadn't done anything like that, so it took a long time to, at the very last point of the record, I remember sitting with the girls, my sister and Catherine, for days trying to work out how those key change harmonies would happen. And I realized that we were composing. We were finally like doing something as composition. It wasn't like, okay, just sing this. It was like, no, we have to really write this down and figure it out. So that turned into a transitional moment, having not been intended as one whatsoever. And from that point was the jumping off point for Lightning and a whole bunch of other stuff that's much more composed. So yeah, that last one. Who would have thought stroke happy ending tune?
Yeah, I would also say, because I thought this was very interesting, we and this is up on Patreon. If you haven't seen this, you can go back to our archives and find it. But I posted the demos from TooSoonMonsoon a while ago, which are pretty much the entire record. I think a couple songs are missing, and No Happy Ending Tune would be one of them, that Brendan recorded by himself. It's the entire song, but with every instrument played by Brendan. and it
Drums are fake.
fake drums,
Yeah,
yes,
fake drums.
but you made the whole thing yourself,
Yeah.
and I was astonished at how similar it was in terms of your generally speaking. It's an interesting thing because writers are different in this regard, but in my experience with Brendan, usually you come out the gate knowing what you want in a song. Like you have a pretty solid idea, and generally speaking, we as a band, whoever the band was at the time, we are trying to create what you're hearing in your head, and that's the process. Rarely do things change that much from demo to final version.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there is no, I believe there will be no demo for No Happy Ending Tune on that record.
No, I was saying No Happy Ending Tune is not on that.
Right.
And there was maybe one other one that was missing. I mean, you didn't have a demo for Who Would Have Thought, obviously.
Right,
But
that was Catherine's
the rest
tune.
of them were there. And, Something Good, BMX Bandits. It was all very interesting because it was really close.
Yeah. I spent a long time in Australia doing the demos for that on my I had a little portable Pro Tools rig, 2003, 2004.
Yeah.
Spent loads of time. Interesting anecdote. We don't bump into a lot of famous people, but this was a weird one. I was working these beautiful beach weather in Australia, but I was indoors the whole time working in this like basement room so I wouldn't bother anybody. And I just said, I want to go to the beach today, just to take a morning and go to the beach. And I still had my collarbone was still broken, and I was still in a sort of like a harness. So I went down to the beach, and there's one other guy on the beach. And he's just running in and out of the water. And I'm standing there, and I look at him, and I felt like I recognized him, and he looked like he knew me too. And we said, "Hey, man, what's going on?" And oh, nothing, just swimming. It was Heath Ledger, and I was totally and completely in this weird harness, like on the beach, like all sort of like pale and like just came out of the New York winter, It was funny. That was
I've never heard that story.
Yeah, that's
Me
a
neither.
yeah, that's a fun. That was my funny weird.
Wow.
What are you doing here? Just
Wow.
me, my girlfriend at the time, Catherine Froggatt, Heath Ledger, and Naomi Watts standing on a beach and didn't know who we were.
You weren't even going to mention Naomi Watts.
Yeah, I mean, the point is that at the moment was just sort of like awkward and, oh, there's people here, okay.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
For a future Zoom, we can have a whole segment of like our surprising celebrity encounters over the years. It
Right.
won't be a very long one because we haven't had that many, but
Right.
there are some good ones.
I don't know any famous people.
There are some. We have a couple good
I
ones.
once met Ainsley Harriott at the Good Food Show.
Who's that?
Exactly.
Oh, Ainsley. Oh, we love
That
him.
famous.
Yeah.
He's famous if you ever watched Ready Steady Cook.
Yeah, he's the best. Oh my God.
Ainsley's Meals in Minutes.
Yes.
Ainsley,
Ainsley, you would love Ainsley.
Way over my head now.
Okay. Anyway, moving on.
Yes, I think Lee, you had something you want to chime in, and again, anyone speak up in the chat, and if you want to say something, we can call you in. Yes, Lee. Hi.
Hello, how are we all doing?
Good.
Hi.
All right, Lee, how are you?
I'm grand. First off, the Explorer, genuinely the best 350 quid I've ever spent in my life.
Oh, I'm
For
so
for a
glad.
guitar that is made by a company who I have never heard of, from a manufacturer who I've never heard of, it is genuinely the most astounding guitar I've ever played.
There's some
And
great
I've-
cheap guitars getting made these days,
Oh,
man.
God,
It's an exciting time. It really is.
I mean, I've also got an Epiphone SG, which I keep at work. I've got a piece of junk that I spray painted as a Frankenstrat, which never stays in tune at all. I've got a Jumbo acoustic. I've got a USA Telecaster, that Ibanez, and there's another one kicking around somewhere.
You could open a fucking store, man.
I
Hey, wait a
probably
minute.
could do, yeah.
Just
I mean, to be honest-
point of order. I had plenty of day jobs, man. I was never working at a place I could bring my guitar to.
Yeah,
and
what's
just,
that all about,
What's
Lee?
that all about, man?
It sits in the corner of the office so that when I am
Cheeky.
taking 5 or 10 minutes and trying not to go insane after looking at SQL or Microsoft System Center, I can sit back and take out my anger and frustration on an AC/DC song and then put it back in the corner again. But no, Monsoon is my favorite album. Like I love all of your songs, always have done, always will do. Monsoon is there's like, it feels like there is a certain amount of freedom in the actual album itself. It feels like I know everything you've written is stuff that you've wanted to write, but for some reason it feels like there is a like the chains have been they've been released so that you are completely free to do what you want to do. And hearing it with Leo on, and I'm going to mispronounce this because all I can see in my brain is a tiny little Australian grey bear, and it's not a koala, it's something else.
Well, we can call it a koala from here on.
Well, yeah, it's playing on the koala. Is
Cajon.
It's a fantastic album, and there are no songs that depreciate with any instruments being in or out of it. But hearing it played on that, it felt like the remixes and everything that you were doing, and things in the style of on Patreon or in the beginnings of lockdown. That sounded brilliant, and I genuinely felt like it was the closest we'll ever get to a Kraftwerk remix of any of your songs because
of the beat. Yeah,
it was
that old 808.
It sounded phenomenal.
What did Kraftwerk use, Matthew? Did they use a Lin?
Oh boy, I'm not gonna know.
There's a very small handful of instruments that they could even have used to make those sounds back then, Lee, and looking them up is fun because that shit goes for big money these days if it's still alive. But they don't talk about the early days of drum machines and synthesized sequencers. Yeah, awesome.
Yeah. So if you ever genuinely get bored now that you found the master tapes and everything, if you want to replace the drums with something from the koala just as an experiment, then,
yeah, we'll give it a shot.
We had a it was very interesting. When we decided we were going to do this, we were so sad to not have Brandon because Brandon is in Tennessee and just getting him here was not possible for this. But and because the keyboards on this record are really prominent and they're a big part of it, so we were sad to not have those. But the cajon, the electric cajon added to it really was. We did a prep run of this a couple days ago for the first time, and didn't quite know what to expect, and I was like, wow, that's really like such a different vibe. It's funny because when I first promoted that we were doing this, I said I think I used the phrase semi-acoustic, and then we started playing with the electric cajon. I was like, incorrect. It's not even.
Wait, Leo's got something to say. Hang on.
To give you guys a bit of background on the cajon. The cajon is a Peruvian instrument that typically has two different sounds. It has a bass sound at the bottom, and it has a snare sound on top, right? So you get the low end and the high end. But the neat thing about this model is that it has built-in triggers that allows you to capture electronic sounds that normally wouldn't be heard in an acoustic cajon, right?
Yeah.
There you
so
go.
You can toggle between different sounds in there, and we've used it in the past to an extent, but never for a full performance like this.
Yeah. With the first time we used that was with Daryl from Run DMC.
Right. That was the first time.
We had like an emergency. We had about 2 hours to prepare for a radio show, to play Walk This Way with Daryl from Run DMC, and we pulled it together with that cajon.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fun.
Celtic, I believe you had a question. If you want to unmute yourself, go ahead.
Yes.
Hello.
Hello.
The way you said that, I think you recognize me.
Oh.
Well, we know you from Twitter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, my question is actually not really related to TooSoonMonsoon, although that is my favorite album by y'all. It's actually related to an event this week related to this.
Yes.
Yes.
Congratulations on finally getting on the game.
Yeah, we finally did it. Yeah.
My question is there actually any song besides the one that you got in that you would actually like to see in the game? Any other ones?
For Guitar Hero, for Rock Band, I guess there are a few, like the song that I wrote when you diss me might be kind of fun in that game because it's got all the tapping, all the sort of like all that stuff. But we don't have any like Dragon Force level music, so
play those myself. I'll be honest.
yeah. So I've seen people do really well playing along the Dragon Force on Rock Band, and it's
or Cliffs of Dover.
oh
or any
my
of those,
god!
Like,
I mean, it's impressive. There's so much more guitar music than what we've have to offer. But yeah, I would say that one maybe. Yeah.
Well, actually, to relate it to TooSoonMonsoon, why not? Any songs off of that that would maybe be fitting for the game?
Something Good has some rip to it. There's a little bit of some rip in that.
I would say In the Melody as well, because In the Melody is very riffy.
Yeah.
And has a lot of fun kind of runs in it that I think would be fun on that game. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, I did. Too Soon is also no, it wasn't just our first sort of be a band and make a record as a band album. It was also the first one where the keyboards finally found their place amongst the guitars. So the keyboard playing on Too Soon is a bit more of a challenge than the guitar playing, I think, and probably could do well to be. I've never. Is there a keyboard? I'm assuming there is a keyboard function in Rock Band.
Rock Band 3, which is the older game, yes, there is. And
Okay.
I actually did chart I Am What I Is to Rock Band 3.
On the keyboard?
I remember you sent me that. I saw that it's a video clip, right?
Oh,
you
yes.
sent of a version of I Am What I Is.
And
Yes.
actually for this week, because Teenage Dirtbag got put on Rock Band, I actually did Lemonade, because on a previous Q&A, someone asked about, he requested Lemonade, and you said that would be good in Rock Band.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Well, we can send them that pretty much immediately.
Please send us if you have a video of Lemonade. Please send it. I would love to check that out.
Yeah, definitely do that.
That's amazing. I love that.
Did you do that on Patreon?
What was that?
Didn't do it on Patreon? Like just message you?
Yeah, that's fine. Totally.
All right.
Awesome. Thank you. That's great. Cool. I think we're probably. I mean, we've been having a good long run here. Maybe we should wrap it up.
Yeah.
We have there's some people on YouTube who not surprisingly, were interested in hearing Teenage Dirtbag, and I'm actually on board because we haven't had Leo. Like we haven't done it in so long, and I actually love the idea of doing it with the electric cajon as well.
Right,
I think this
yeah.
could be really cool. We
Let's try it.
We didn't prep for this, but I feel like in theory we should all still remember how to do this song. Funny enough, we haven't done it in a long time.
You know, I have been doing it on Cameo a lot. And on Cameo I don't do the full version. I just do like a little customized version for whoever I'm talking to. But
yeah.
But I hope that I can get past the second verse because I.
Do we have to change his setting?
No, I think it's okay.
Real quick before we begin, I just again thank you. I'm gonna people watching in Zoom, you can do it yourself or I'll do it for you, but I'm going to kill your video feeds again just so that the YouTube is just us. And again, thank you everybody for watching, the Patreon members, people on YouTube. This has been really fun. Getting to play in any form is really fun nowadays.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
And again, if you're watching on YouTube and you're not a member, we know that times are weird and tough, but if you're interested, it's $5 and you can watch us do things like this very, very, very often. It's really fun. We love getting to talk to people. We love getting to play requests. And as anyone on Patreon will tell you, we have been convinced to play very crazy things by members there, and we love it.
Mm-hmm. So just another note to our American friends who are on board here, don't forget to vote. Yeah, it's
16 days.
Yeah, it's a big deal this time. And let's not lose
Very
the country.
I just wanted
to
to
a-
answer one question. That's all I was going to say.
Okay.
Someone on YouTube wanted to know, how are we doing this? They said, are you in the same house? And yes, we are in the same house.
We are indeed, yeah.
Oh, yes.
We have in-ears in. I don't know if you can see.
Yeah, we
but
have part
all
of.
in different rooms.
For anyone who's wondering, we worked on this for a while. This is a kind of sort of Zoom meets. If you see behind us, maybe you can see that we are running a Cisco LAN that we built for this purpose, and we have one of our wireless transmitters is hitting us all with a single. If we tried to follow the video, we'd lose our shit. But we can hear each other in real time in our ears, so that makes the big difference.
So we're socially distant, we're responsible, and together.
Yeah,
Exactly.
and so on.
Exactly.
All right.
Together at home.
Together at home.
Together at home. Okay, gang. So we're gonna do
Yeah.
Dirtbag.
Yeah.
All right.
Ready?
Yep.
Ready for the thing?
I'm ready.
Her name is Noelle, and I have a dream about her. She rings my bell. I got gym class in half, oh now guess if he knew the truth, he lives on my block and he drives an IROC, but he doesn't know who I am, and he doesn't give a damn about me, 'cause I'm just a teenage dirtbag baby. Yeah, I'm just a teenage dirtbag baby. Listen to Iron Maiden, baby, with me. Ooh. Oh yeah, dirtbag. No, she doesn't know what she's missing. Oh yeah, dirtbag. No, she doesn't know what she's missing. Man, I feel like mold. It's prom night and I am lonely, lo and behold. She's walking over to me, this must be fake. My lip starts to shake. Now does she know who I am? And why does she give a damn about me? She said I got tickets to Iron Maiden, baby. Come with me Friday, don't say maybe. I'm just a teenage dirtbag baby like you. Oh yeah, dirtbag. No, she doesn't know what she's missing. Oh yeah, dirtbag. No, she doesn't know what she's missing. Wow, wow.
I did not see that ending coming.
the soft landing, the jazz. Jazz.
Thank you guys all for watching. We appreciate it. And as they said, if you live in America or really anywhere that allows voting, you should vote. And
And get your friends to vote.
and yeah, and continue to be safe out there, everybody. We
Yep.
love you. Thank you.
Yeah. Yay. Thanks, guys.
Bye.